Hi everybody, I'm Allison. Get to see my face this time, mostly because I couldn't get my phone set up to record a video top down. My really jerry-rigged thing that I was using when I don't have my tripod just kept falling over. So now you get to look at my face and my desk behind me, which is where I do my readings, but I've turned around so that you get to see my desk instead of my bedroom. So today I'm doing a VR to Sylvain from Sylvain's Deadly Sins, and it's 7 decks for the 7 Deadly Sins. It's been super fun to watch everybody else's videos, so I thought I'd hop on and do my own version. I have cheated a little. They're all next to me in a giant laundry basket because I grabbed an Oracle deck as well as a Tarot deck to fit for everyone. I'm trying to look at the camera on my iPhone because it's turned sideways, so I want to look in the middle, but then I realize I'm not actually looking at you when I do that, so I'm trying to remember. Okay, as always, it's going to be unprofessional and kind of a mess, but we'll just go with it because I'm trying not to be a perfectionist about these videos, because if I am a perfectionist then I won't ever post them, and that's pretty much why I haven't posted any videos until now, so I'm trying just to go with the flow. So the first Deadly Sin is Pride. And so Sylvain said it was specifically a deck you bought so you could flex it. And I don't really have any decks like that specifically since I haven't had a YouTube channel until now. Like, I don't post very much on Instagram, so I don't have a lot of like opportunities to flex my collection. So I kind of changed it. Let's see, let me just grab them. So I sort of thought about, instead, a deck that I bought purely for the sake of having it in my collection. And the tarot that I thought of was the Mystic Masters Tarot by J.D. Hildegard Hinkle. And, you know, they did the Tarot of Delphi, which is beloved in the tarot community and long out of print. So I knew when I saw this one that it would be one that I should probably, I don't know, that would be a good thing to collect. It would be very collectible. So I got it less for myself, maybe I'll hold these closer, less for myself and more for the collecting of it. Although I do like it. I mean, I do enjoy the images. It's just not something that I read with very much. I tend to like people in my tarot decks, which is not a very popular opinion, I feel like, right now. Maybe I'll do a video on that, as like the things that make me an unpopular tarot reader. But I like people in my decks. I have trouble reading with animal decks, and I have trouble reading with really minimalist decks. Like, I have the Spacious Tarot, which I love, and I followed the creation of it, and I bought it right away, and I'm probably going to buy the Oracle deck, to be honest. But I don't read with it very much because I like to see people in my deck. I don't know. So I really do like this one, and sometimes I pull it. I know I've played around with pulling it as like the environment of a reading. I really like, where are they? She threw in just 4 cards that are supposed to represent, oh, here they are, the elements. Well, here's 2. And they're my favorite. I use them for altar cards quite a lot. Or like, I had one out on this brown shelf for a while. I had this one out because, oh my God, I want to live there. And I want to live in a little home inside this forest. So I would be really happy if I could have, I don't know what this deck would be, but I want this deck. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So that's the tarot deck that I bought because of pride as a collector, to have it in my collection. You know, and I thought about doing the same with the most recent version of the Binabel Wind Spirit Keepers Tarot, because the other ones have been so collectible, but I just knew I don't have, it's pretty, but it's not my aesthetic, and I just don't have the energy to like consume all of that information, and like I want all of that information, but I knew I wouldn't work with it, so I passed. I'm trying to be better. I don't know, I'm trying to be a more mindful tarot collector, I guess. The Oracle deck that I chose is this Spread Machine Oracle by Kim at Fable's Den. And I mean, I bought it because I thought it sounded like a cool idea and it was really pretty, but mostly I bought it because I wanted to back a Kickstarter that Kim was doing, because she's just like part of the tarot community, and like I follow her on Instagram, and I don't know, I just sort of like the pride of the collectors. Like I have one of Kim's decks and I participated in the Kickstarter. So that's for pride. Let's see. Next is greed. So Sylvain said these are decks that you only use for yourself. You won't read for other people with them. And that definition doesn't work for me because I only ever read for myself. None of my friends or family are into tarot. It's very much like my own hobby. And so all I ever do is read for myself. And thinking about it, there aren't any decks that I own where I would be sort of precious about. Like if a friend did say, you know, read for me, I think I would use any of them. But so I kind of tweaked it a little bit. And I thought about it as decks that the minute I saw them, I knew I needed to have them. Like I just was like, mine now, instantly, it needs now. And which is unusual for me because usually I do a ton of research about any decision I'm making. So for tarot decks, I'm like watching all the YouTube video flip throughs multiple times. I'm listening, you know, I'm looking on them on Instagram hashtags and trying to get, you know, listen to someone read a part of the guidebook and all kinds of things. So but these were just like, I see it, I want it. Isn't that a song? I feel like that's a pop song. Anyway, I see it, I want it, I got it. So the tarot deck that I chose was the Tarot Renard by Celia Melisville, I think. She does Lily White and Lily Black, and I have two of her Oracle decks. I can't remember what they are at the top of my head though. But so the minute that she posted this tarot deck, which is a tarot deck of foxes, on Kickstarter, like I absolutely had to have it. And I don't really have a thing for foxes necessarily. I mean, they're not like my spirit animal or anything. I mean, I like them, but I don't have any specific relationship with them. I don't know if I've ever seen a fox even in real life, but they're just so cute. Oh my gosh. Lisa Papez talks about the Monstero all the time. If you follow her, you know about her special relationship with the Monstero. And I feel like this could be my Monstero. It's just like so white, sorry. It's just so freaking adorable. Something about this illustration style is like, it's just adorable. Some of them did print a little dark, so it can be hard for me to read with, you know, like I said, when I tend to read at night in low lighting situations, because they get, you know, that it got a little muddied, I think, in the printing, but it's so adorable. It's so freaking cute. Like this guy with his little mouse friend. So that one I had to have in the backs, I think, with the sparkle. I don't tend to like gold gilding on my cards. Like if you watch my the mass market decks that I'm getting rid of video, I kind of talk about that with the what's it called? Ethereal Visions Tarot. Sorry, I'm looking over there because that's where all my tarot decks are. But that one, I do like it if it's just little bits on the back. And the Oracle deck I chose was the Threadbound Oracle. You know, I'm just realizing that these are all probably backwards. So sorry about that. The Threadbound Oracle, which looks like a mini book. I mean, that is just totally adorable. So this is a book, deck by Cedar McLeod, who did the Numinous Tarot, which I don't have, but I should get. It's on my list. And it is a deck that is based on a book that they wrote about magic librarians and magic library, which just like I had to get it immediately because I'm a librarian. I'm not actually working in libraries right now, but I have my degree and I've worked in libraries for a while, and especially public libraries are my favorite. This is just so, I'm just showing you the inside because it's pretty. So, you know, I had to buy the ebook. I had to get this deck, and it's like so inclusive. It's probably one of my most inclusive decks. And the characters in the deck are in the story, but you don't have to have read the story to use the deck. But like these two are in the story. But it's an oracle deck with a system. There's different suits. There's thread and paper and ink because it's also about bookbinding, sort of. So this was just like all of the things that I love in a deck, and I was able to kind of like get really into the fandom and like read the book and stuff. So that was kind of like an extra added experience. So that was really fun. Okay, so then the next sin is Wrath, which is a deck that you're angry at. So I'm not super angry at any of my decks. Like, I was watching other people's videos, and everyone had a really good reason for being angry at a deck. Like, it had a really mean reading, or they actually, I think Juliet Peekaboo Rose said like it actually cut her. So those are really good reasons to be angry at a deck. I'm just sort of snarky at the Moon Void Tarot. I have natural light going on today, so it's blowing out my whites. I mean, like, I love the aesthetics of this deck, but I just can't get on with the Beautiful People collage. I don't know. It just doesn't do anything for me. I'm particularly annoyed because there are at least 5 cards of people meditating in this deck. And I just dropped a card. And I can see how that image for each of individual cards would work, but when I have the same image essentially on 5 cards, what am I supposed to do with that? I don't know. That just doesn't seem right to me. They're supposed to be different. And then also, this is kind of like the deck that irks me the most about like not having age diversity in it, because like the kings are so young looking. They're younger than me. I'm almost 100% sure of it. And because they're real people instead of illustrations, like I cannot get away from that, and it just bugs me. So right now this deck is in my purgatory box. And I'm going to do a video of the indie decks that are currently in my purgatory box, or that I'm thinking of maybe getting rid of. And I will probably be posting this one for, I don't know, trade or sale or whatever, as soon as I get like the energy to do it. It takes a lot. And then the Oracle deck that I chose are these guys. I just got this one. I haven't used it yet. I did use this one last season, just a couple months ago, and it worked really well. I got really good readings out of it. I like the art. I'm a little grumpy about the text on the cards, and I'm not grumpy because there's a lot of text on the cards, because I have other oracles that do that. I only read for myself. I'm fine. It's not a big deal. I'm grumpy about it because for me, a lot of the times the text doesn't make sense, like actual literal sense. I don't know what it's trying to say. And I don't know, it has to just be me, because everybody else seems to love the little incantations or whatever on the cards. And I'm wondering if it's because I haven't spent much time in like magic communities, or like maybe specifically Wicca communities that might do incantations or something in ritual. Maybe there's a language, like a lingo that I haven't like been privy to, that maybe I'm just not getting it. But I tried to pull a couple out just so I could kind of explain what I was saying. So this is the Hearth card. Beautiful, lovely. It says, "May your warmth take in the gazing flame, upon the shivers they melt away." I just don't know what that means. Then where's the other one? There's crone. And the text says, "Thy wisdom befriends the honor in which weaves within blood." I just think there's there's too many of those. I just don't know what to make with that sentence. And then the next sentence says, "A heroing call," instead of like a heroing call from the depths of your sacredness. I don't know. I mean, I know it's supposed to be poetic, and I think maybe if it were like in the book written out in, with the line breaks, then I could maybe get more into like the rhythm of it. I think because it's just written straight like sentences, that the rhythm that's meant to be sort of felt like it's not coming across to me. I mean, not all of them are like that. I mean, some of them are lovely, like Gatherings says, "Gather, gather, festive witches, speak of joy and drink 2 wishes. Take 1, give 2, celebrating all blisses." So that's kind of cute. It rhymes. It sounds like a little witchy thing to say. But some of them I don't know, they sound a little awkward to me, or I can't make meaning out of it. So I get a little grumpy about it. I mean, I use them anyway. I definitely get over it. I definitely still like them. I like the concepts. I like the images for the most part. I like the book. All of the spreads they put in are awesome. I really like having a deck specifically for Yule / Christmas because I just think that's super cool. I love Christmas so much. So I get over it, but I'm still a little grumpy about it. And actually, Tom Benjamin just posted on his Instagram today a little post that said, like, please stop correcting other people's grammar. If it doesn't make sense, ask. If it makes sense, move on. Like, decolonialize your approach to grammar. And I was like, oh man, I'm about to make this video about the grammar of this deck. So probably I need to do that. And I am trying to do that. But I was also trying to be honest about the decks that kind of get me a little irritated. So, but I'm trying to get over myself about it because it's fine. It's fine. I just work with the concepts mostly and see if any specific words stand out in the text. So next is Envy. So a deck that you bought because you saw other people having it. I'm just gonna stand these all up back here. You're gonna see my little pile growing. And so I chose the Pagan Otherworlds. Which I'm not going to open because it's kind of annoying. Y'all have seen it. It's just so pretty. And I don't read with pip decks very much. I've made a couple of forays into Marseille, but not very far. And, but it's just so pretty. Like I just needed it. And then the other one is this Alcharinga Oracle, or the Oracle deck I chose is Alcharinga Oracle. And I didn't back this also, so the creator of this also did the Gothmancy Tarot, and they both went up on Kickstarter at the same time. I think the Alcharinga Oracle had already existed, so you could like buy it on the Kickstarter, and I didn't. And I just kind of watched the whole process as the deck came out, and I was watching people use it, and it just like the art, I don't know what it is about the art, but I just really liked it. And I just kind of like, the more I saw people using it, I just kind of had to have it. And it's a deck that does incorporate reversals. It's called the Oniromancy deck because it's based off of, the symbols are all based off of dream symbols and like specifically for future telling with dream symbols. I'm sorry, all of the titles are backwards. Ugh. I'm gonna have to figure out what to do about that. So I don't know. Yeah, it just was very surrealist, and I kept seeing people using it, and I kept being upset that I didn't back it. So then I backed it, or I grabbed it. I purchased it. Okay. Then the next sin, I have my list right in front of me, is Lust. So a deck that you have for purely aesthetic reasons. And what did? Oh yeah. So for that, I chose, for my tarot deck, I chose the Oak Ashen Thorn. This could also have been for Envy because again, like I didn't get it right away because the shipping from the UK was very expensive, which I know everybody in the UK says all the time about shipping from the US. But I just saw people using it and I was like, I need it. And it just is, I feel like everybody's seen it, so I'm sure you don't need to look at the cards, but it's just so pretty. I just love it. Although I actually don't think I'm going to back the, or buy the dragon one right away at least, because I don't really have a thing for dragons. And I have this one, and I like I just like this one so much. So that is Lust. And it's just like, I like the cardstock, like I like how it feels. It feels a lot like having art in my hands. And then the Oracle deck, or decks, I guess, are the Illuminated Earth Oracle and the Faceted Garden Oracle. And these super duper count because I actually don't read with these that much, but I can't find it in myself to get rid of them because they're so pretty. I love her art so much. Who is this? What is her name again? Oh my gosh, where are you? Claire Mack. Yeah. And actually she's making a tarot deck and I'm super excited. I don't know. It's going to probably be very minimalist, but I will probably back it anyway because I love her art so much. I just think what she does is so cool. I'm trying to find one of my favorites. This one. Oh my gosh. Retreat with that earth going away into the, like the nebula is so cool. So, but it's one of those oracle decks that it just has like a word, a keyword, and a picture. And I have been finding lately for me, I don't know, I just can't like really do anything with them. I've been reaching a lot more for decks that have like phrases on them, like postcards and postcards from the liminal space, or this one I'm going to show you later on. So I've been trying not to buy more oracle decks like this because I feel like after you have a handful, they're all sort of the same unless you really, really like the art. This is just the Faceted Garden, which is the same by the same author. It has the rainbow, which I have to show. It's just so pretty. It's just so pretty. I just really feels like art to me, you know. So, and those are really, really just for aesthetic reasons because I don't really read with them very often. And I'm okay with that, with having a few decks in my collection that I don't read with super often, but I just kind of like to get out and flip through. Like, that's cool. It's part of why I collect a tarot, is to have those decks that make me happy, even if I don't use them very much. Because again, I only read for myself, so it's not a lot of reading. So I'm not going to be using very many decks. Sorry if things have shifted slightly. I know they have because that lamp wasn't in there before, but I got a phone call on my phone, which I had to take, and so then I had to like set everything back up. So it's slightly different. Again, unprofessional. I'll say amateur, but I'm just going with it. Okay, so where was I? Oh yes, Gluttony. There's only 2 left. So Gluttony is something you bought that you definitely didn't need to buy. And I have the perfect one for this. I participated in the Cosmovisions Kickstarter and I bought all the stuff. I don't know why. I mean, the Cosmovisions is beautiful. I haven't used it yet. I really haven't. I love the art in it. I mean, it's beautiful. Let me see if I can find one. I think it's still in order even. Yes, it is. You know, I mean, it's lovely. And I actually like it better than the Prismavisions art, which I bought. I think it's lighter, I think it's brighter, and I think it's more clear what's going on. I really especially like the pentacles, or I guess it's the trees suit. It's very pretty, all those purples. So I bought that, and then I bought Prismavisions, which I haven't used, and I actually don't super like. I also bought the extra, these were all the extra cards and all the different versions of Prismavisions, I think, and James A. Eads was doing like a, is it A. Eads or R. Eads? R. Eads. James R. Eads was doing a pack. You get, you know, all of them. So I'm torn about this one. This is the one where I really like the Pentacle suit. It's my favorite. I don't like the borders on the majors. I hate it. They make them way too small. I can't see what's going on in most of them. I don't really like the Wands suit. I find it very hard to see what is happening. Like that this is a person. I didn't see that forever. And I just find that the whole thing has like a blue cast to it that I couldn't see on the camera, but once I'm holding them in front of me, like all fanned out, they all look really, really blue, and it's not my favorite. But I still kind of want to give it a chance. Like I haven't gotten rid of it yet because some of it is so pretty. So I'm kind of waiting to see. I'm also not the biggest fan of this giant bird in the sword suit, which is weird because I like stories. Like I like fantasy. I like fairy tale. I should be fine with this. I don't know why I'm not. Maybe this should go in my wrath stack because I am a little snarky about it because I was looking forward to it and I opened it and I was just kind of like, oh. I also bought the big book that goes along with, I think this is why I ended up buying Prismavisions. I was on the fence about Prismavisions, but if you tell me there is a big book with more information in it, I can't not buy it. Like I need all the information. And so since I was going to buy it for Cosmovisions, I mean, so pretty. And since Cosmovisions is its own system, I felt like I kind of needed to buy it to really get to know it. And it has Prismavisions like on the other side. It's Cosmo on one, Prismas on the other. I felt like I needed to buy the deck because why would I have the book for it, like the information for it? But this is also kind of when I started to get grumpy about the deck because in the book, I feel like the art does not have that bluish cast over it. And I don't know if it's just because the majors don't have those blue borders, if maybe having them outside of the borders is why it's different. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to find one. This is, I mentioned in my other video when I was getting grumpy about the Line Strider Tarot, about the Melty Flower Sun. This is the other deck that uses that melty flower image, like a melty flower imagery for the sun card, and I don't get it. I don't get it. Why melty flowers? I don't know. But then, because I was already buying so much other stuff, I bought this. It's called Geomantic Visions. It's James R. Eads did geomancy coins. Do I read geomancy? No. Do I know anything about geomancy? No, I don't. I know that Kelly from Truth and Story really likes it, and so I've always sort of been like, oh, what is that? That's interesting. Kelly likes it, so it must be good. But it's like the figures that he used for the coins are the figures in the Cosmovisions deck. So again, I sort of felt like, well, like to really use that deck, I don't know, like it all sort of goes together, and maybe this would be a good way to learn. Like, how many times have I talked myself into buying something because it would be a good way to learn? So anyway, so I bought all the things. So that is my Gluttony. And then it technically works because this is tarot and this is oracle. So I have one of each as per my rules. Finally is the Sin of Sloth, and that's what deck you use when you feel lazy. And I just wanted to say that for me, that would be all of the oracles. Like, that's why I have oracle. I very rarely use tarot and oracle together, except maybe in a daily pull situation. But oracle is what I use when I feel lazy, tired, like just without energy, but I still want to pull a card. Or if I feel like sort of vulnerable or sad or something, tarot is just, I don't know, I've been reading for like 3 or 4 years, so still sometimes it's so much work to figure out what it's trying to say. And if I'm in a space where I'm sort of doubting myself anyway, like trying to make a meaning out of a card pull is just, it's not going to go well. So then I like to pull oracle. So any oracle card, I mean, specifically I have like my hug decks that I go to when I'm in that mood, but really that's why I have oracle in my collection. But I did want to pick a tarot deck since those were my rules. So I picked the Spirit Song Tarot, which is perfect in this category. First of all, it is like the most gentle color palette you could ever ask for. It just makes me so happy flipping through it because it's just such sweet colors. I just love it. I love all the squiggle details. And I know I said I didn't like animal decks, but I don't read this as a tarot deck. I read it as an oracle deck because it has at the bottom like the card title, Queen of Acorns, and it has 2 keywords, and this one is passion and creativity. And I do think the keywords go really well with the tarot card meaning, but often I just like, you know, it just like, it makes me feel good to look at the colors, and there's a couple of keywords there, and I just go with it, you know, it makes it easy. Oh, I did want to, maybe I'll do an honorable mention for this category because I was going to talk about one. But maybe not because it's kind of hard to get. The oracle deck that I picked is this one. It's called, I always have it, it's always out on my desk, so I never have it in the box and I always forget. It's called the Inquire Within deck. And it was like one of the first oracle decks that I saw, and I thought I need to have that. It's kind of expensive for an oracle deck, but I just needed it, and I use it all the time. And I'm sorry, it's gonna be backwards, I think, but they just have these little graphic illustrations and then a phrase. So this one says when you least expect. This says seeing things for what they are. This says little by little. This says take a field trip, inhale, exhale. So it's a very comforting deck. It's okay to feel feelings. Nourish is this one with some leaves. It's just always kind. It's always kind, no matter what card comes out. This one I pull a lot. Don't take it all too seriously. Which is like, it's pretty much what I do, is take it all too seriously. This is Cultivate Stillness, where the lines get less and less like crazy. Not crazy, but less and less. What do you call that? They get more and more still. We'll just go with that. Yeah, so I just really like it. Our slow change where the circle slowly turns into the triangle I get. It's just lovely. You are always shifting, or rest. Well, I'll go back to this one. I really like this one because even mountains are changing, even though the process is very slow. So even though it feels like nothing is shifting, you are always shifting. I really like that one. So yes, I love this one. And this is my number one deck that I go to when I'm feeling like I want to pull a card, but I can't handle anything else. The other one that I was going to say, the honorable mention is, I think it's called Psychic Tarot of the Heart. And it's totally renamed all of the majors. It doesn't have the court cards. I don't even know if it can technically be called a tarot, but it has kind of like really cheesy illustrated art with like one keyword at the bottom, but like it works. I don't know. It's any tarot deck with keywords at the bottom works well for this category. So yeah, those were all my things. Apparently I like to make long videos. I don't know. Hopefully that is something that people like. And I don't have a good way to end this. So I hope to be participating in more tags. Let me know if you like any of these decks, if you hate any of these decks, if you agree or disagree with any of my opinions down in the comments. I feel like it's too early to say, let me know if you want to have a flip through of a deck, but I'm of course more than happy to do a flip through of any of these decks if you saw one that you liked. I don't know why you'd want me to do it, but I'm happy to. Yeah. So that's it. I hope everyone has a wonderful day.